What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is good to have you with me in the lounge today. Now look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know this. The Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew and all of our subs and all of our friends can get together and have fun and talk about the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys. And believe me, if you've been in any of our live streams lately, you know that on top of all those awesome things, there are so much more things that we talk about, other topics that we talk about. And so if those things sound like, that kind of floats your boat and gets you out of bed in the morning, then please go right now, hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications bell so that you know when we put out new videos, because we are constantly putting out new content for you. We love doing these videos. We love doing new content, and we want you to be here and be a part of this growing community of people. We are so close to 9,000 subscribers, and we really want to hit 10. And so we would love to have you here on right before we really make that push. So hey, today we're talking about something that I look at it and I think there's got to be more to this story. There has got to be a story behind this story. And that is, of course, Ray Fisher tweeting out today about Joss Whedon. What a story. If you haven't heard already, this morning, Ray Fisher tweeted out a pretty derogatory thing about Joss Whedon, who directed Justice League. Now, a little history on this, if you're not totally up to speed on everything that's going on. We all know that a few years ago, the Justice League movie was in production. Zack Snyder was making Justice League. He had things going along. Family hiccups, more than family hiccups, just a really bad situation happened with his daughter passing away, and he had to step away from the production. Doing so, they hired Joss Whedon, who had directed the first two Avengers movies, to come in and kind of take the reins and finish up the movie. Unfortunately, Joss came in and completely gutted the movie, really, of Zack Snyder's vision, shooting over 75 to 80% of the movie, reshooting it, and putting his own spin on it, just joke after joke after joke, just color changes, making it look nothing like the world that Zack Snyder had envisioned or created to begin with. That being said, the movie didn't do as well as they wanted it to do. It's been panned. People have had an issue with it, both fans of the movie and people who just weren't going to like the movie anyways. But it's been, deemed the Justice League movie. And we've always thought, well, there's got to be, what happened on that set? Like, what happened with him changing things? Because Zack Snyder is talking about, now we skip today, and we know that Zack Snyder had a completely different version, had a completely different vision for this movie. And we finally, after a few years of campaigning, of using hashtag release the Snyder Cut, of really, events and just pushes by a lot of great people, we are going to get to finally see Zack Snyder's vision of what Justice League should have been. It's going to be coming out on HBO Max in 2021. So Zack has been on a tear lately talking about his film, and whether or not it's a 4-hour film or it ends up being a mini series on HBO Max, we're not sure yet, but he's always maintained that in his vision, Cyborg, the character of Cyborg, who is played by Ray Fisher, that he is the heart of the movie. Now, if you watch the Justice League version, if you watch Joss Whedon's version, you would never get that from that movie. Ever. You would never assume that Cyborg is the heart of that movie, because we barely get to see any of his backstory of who he is, of what makes him tick. We just get some brooding. We get some anger over how he was created with his dad, and the loss of his body really to these cybernetic parts and stuff. And we don't really get the heart of the movie that we're told by Zack Snyder that Cyborg is. Even in the end, we don't get that. So there's got to be a lot more there. There's got to be a lot more movie there with Cyborg if he is the heart. Just plain and simple. So that's kind of where we're at. And so we are looking forward to the Zack Snyder version. I don't even want to say the Zack Snyder version, because it is Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's period. That's it. Good, bad, indifferent. When this is done, this will be, to us fans, the definitive version. It will definitely replace what Joss Whedon did. But something interesting happened. Ray Fisher decided to tweet out something that we're going to talk about a little bit, because he tweeted out today, and I'll show this to you right now. He says, "I'd like to take a moment to forcefully retract every bit of this statement." Now, what does that mean? You got to watch the video. Let's watch that now.
Yeah, I mean, Joss is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up for him.
Still got some more time. What's your name?
Joss is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up for him.
Still got some more time. What's your name and question?
So when you watch that, all you can say is, wow. I mean, when I first watched that, I was like, I can't believe they let him do that. You know, people don't usually do that. People don't usually throw people under the bus like that. And there's a couple of schools of thought on it. And I've seen some people be level-headed about it, and I've seen some people just go, over the edge on it, both ways. There's going to be the people who say that this was wrong, that this was something that Ray Fisher stepped over the line, that he shouldn't have been critical like this of Joss Whedon, especially after the fact, because they consider that Joss did the best that he could. I don't know, though, that Joss did the best that he could. I mean, I know that he had a timeline, and I get all of that, and I don't want to be too critical of Joss Whedon, because he had a lot of pressure from Warner Brothers to change the movie. But he's Joss Whedon, and he still changed the movie. So there's that. But this is very interesting to hear how Ray Fisher points this out. He says, "I'd like to take a moment to forcefully retract every bit of this statement." He's retracting the fact that he said Joss Whedon is a good guy. That's huge. When he says, "I want to forcefully retract every bit of the statement," that's not, hey, I'm going to leave some of that statement in because some of it's true. Like, he's still a good guy, but he just made a bad movie. That's not what Ray Fisher is saying here. Ray Fisher is literally attacking Joss Whedon. So what we got to do is we got to break that down. Because if you watch the body language in the video, you can tell that Ray Fisher is not convinced of his own statement even at that time. He's looking around for somebody to back him up. He's looking for acknowledgement from somebody, even Jason Momoa, who's sitting right next to him. And Jason Momoa looks completely unfazed. It looks just like completely like, I can't believe you just said that, dude. I mean, that is how Jason looks. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't give him any acknowledgement. He doesn't give Ray any acknowledgement to say, yeah, oh yeah, man, you're right. Joss did a great job. He was the right man for the job. There is none of that. The body language in this video screams that Joss just did not do well by these people. But the question is, what is the story now? What happened for Ray Fisher now to come out with this kind of statement and basically completely throw Joss under the bus? And obviously this had to be allowed. This had to be allowed by either Zack Snyder or AT&T, Warner Brothers, something. But it completely guts Joss's movie, his character, the way that he treated the people that worked on the movie. There's got to be more to this story. So as much as I am shocked over the statement, and I've seen a lot of people shocked over the statement, we got to talk about the fact that there's something more here. There's something deeply rooted here between either between Joss Whedon and the entire cast, or maybe just Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher. Now, we know a lot of Ray Fisher's work ended up on the cutting room floor. Is that what he's mad about? Because if you're just mad about that, I don't know that it's fair to just take a director to task because of that, just because you don't like the fact that some of your work ended up on the cutting room floor. But if there's more to this story about how Joss handled this stuff and how these reshoots went down and the forcible way that some of these things happened, Ray Fisher could very well be justified, for lack of a better pun, justified in saying the things that he said, in making this tweet that says, I would like to forcefully retract every bit of this statement. That Joss Whedon is a good guy, that he was the right guy that for Zack Snyder to pick to try to pick up the mantle and finish this video. I'll tell you what, it's a hot issue. And it's something that I really didn't expect that we would see. You just don't see this really out of actors going after directors after the fact like this. But obviously, this is not just any movie. This is Justice League. This is something that we're getting a new version of. And when we get this new version, it's going to be completely different than Joss Whedon's version. And it may be absolutely unrecognizable compared to Joss Whedon's version in the end. Well, hey, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this video. Also, share these videos. That's the best thing that you can do for us. I mean, we just really appreciate it when you guys share the videos that we make with other nerds and bring other nerds along with you. Also, a shout out to all of our patrons. I can say it. Patrons on Patreon. You guys are awesome. We're very, very thankful for you. Also, remember that for the month of June, you got to get in under the buzzer. Today's the last day. You got to get in. But if you become a patron, or if we do a live stream and you give a super chat, you are in the running for this month's giveaway, which is Weird Al Yankovic, the Complete Al. I want to say a quick shout out to Cylon Scotty, who is our newest and latest Patreon supporter. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate both of you guys for giving, and we're very, very thankful to have you guys as part of the Poindexter Lounge. Well, guys, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Like I said, follow us on social media. Let's keep the conversation going long after the videos are done. We're very active on social media, and so we would love to hear from you. Until next time, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett. Just saying, hey guys, we gotta find out what's going on here with all this, and hopefully we find out, hear more, and is there more to hear from other members of the Justice League? Only time will tell. Until then, stay nerdy. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.